Hi, welcome to Totally TTRs. I'm Steve Atfield. Today we're going to be fitting the Acerbis long range fuel tank to an Open Enduro TTR. This is the Totally TTRs fitting kit which I've had made bespoke for Totally TTRs, and it's going to be used to fit the Acerbis tank to the Open Enduro. All you should need to fit the kits to the bike are a selection of 10, 12, 13, 14 mil spanners and the same size sockets. That's all what's needed. Right, to get the bike ready for fitting the kit and the long range tank is what we've done. We've removed the seat from the bike, we've removed the fuel tank from the bike, and here we've took the engine bolts out. There's also another thing we've got to do. We've got to move this horn out of the way. Now it's a simple job. All we need to just nice and firmly just bend it back, and that should be tucked out the way enough now. We're going to also need a little bit of Loctite. Before we start to fit the brackets, don't forget to put the petrol taps onto the tank. So we've fitted the brackets now, but we've just done them loosely with the bolts, just finger tight. And don't forget to put a bit of the Loctite in the threads when doing it. But don't tighten them up fully for now. Just leave them just a little bit loose, so we've got a play on there. We'll tighten them up later. And before we fit the tank, we're just going to fit a little piece of rubber protection. And we can fit it here, just about there roughly. And if we need to trim off a bit later, we should be able to. So we're now going to slide the tank on nice and carefully, gently over there. It should locate on that bit of rubber at the top and just in between the two rubber old fuel tank mounts. Quite nice and easy, we can see there. When fitting the engine mount bolts, the long ones, we've got to come in from the right hand side of the bike. It's the only side they'll fit in through. And don't forget your washers as well. And they'll go through just like that, and we'll push them through for the final location in a second. Okay, and we're using the old locking nuts off the old engine mount bolts because they're really nice ones, so I've kept to use them. Again, we're just going to put this on just loosely for now, and then we'll tighten it up. We'll tighten it all together later. So just put them in loosely for now. The threads look a little bit longer, but this has been done on purpose because if any guys run oil coolers, the bolts are already long enough to take the oil cooler mounting bracket. So next we're going to fit the tank strap and the bracket that holds the top of the seat mount. So that locates on there, and then we just pick up them holes in the top of the tank. So now we're fitting the strapping bracket onto the fuel tank. If you want to use a bit of Loctite, you can on this, but I don't think there's any need to, so I'm not. But if you want to add a bit of Loctite, feel free to add a bit of Loctite. Right, so we can tighten them ones up. That's not a problem, they're not going to change then, so we can tighten them ones up. And then what we're going to do, we've got the bits of the original metal tank bracket here, and we're going to reuse these because it's good to reuse stuff. We can put that on there, put this one on top, and put your nut back in. Tighten that one up, and then we're ready to fit the seat. Next we're going to fit the seat. Right, what we're going to have to do, this bracket needs to locate here. So when we're fitting the seat, we're going to put it in place, and we're going to make sure that we push down nice and firmly so that bottom bracket locates in that hole. So that bottom bracket is fixed nicely in there. The top bracket's located, look, lovely in the top of the seat. There's a bracket in there you can see, and that should locate into the top fixing nicely. Don't worry about a couple of wrinkles. because the angle of the seat has changed, it's always going to happen. You're going to need to give the seat a real good push in because it's quite hard to locate the bottom brackets. This has been done so it all fits nice and tightly. Right, this bit's a little bit tricky. You just got to get your head in between the wheel to see where the bolts are. Quite easy to do up, and because they're finger tight already, it just needs a little nip up. So it's just a quick little nip up, that's all it took, little tighten up, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Right, these bolts, the engine bolts, fit really nicely on here. But remember, if you want the oil cooler to fit, ask me for the longer bolts. I'll do some longer bolts which incorporate the oil cooler bracket. And that's how you fit the Acerbis tank to an OE using all the fitting kit from Totally TTRs. Thank you for watching. Right.
Don't worry, we can cut that out.
Start again. It's the outtakes.